Hi, everyone. So let's talk about this new moon in Gemini. The new moon in Gemini is a really great time to manifest new ideas, new communications. Gemini is very active right now in the sense that the sun is in Gemini, the moon is in Gemini, Mercury is in Gemini, Jupiter is in Gemini. Everybody's kind of hanging out in Gemini. There's a lot of activity in Gemini right now. And so, again, this is a really great time for us to have good thoughts about things, solve problems, have creative ideas, think things through in a very clear and analytical and precise way. So it's a time for us to really capitalize on that energy. I would like to start by rolling a zodiac sign, not because this will be your sign, but I would like to know if there are other energies that we should be working with. So we have Libra, and Libra and Gemini are similar in the sense that they're both very adaptable. They're both very versatile. There's a way to see both sides of the story with Gemini and with Libra. So I'm feeling like we're going to get this very it's very airy, swordsy type of energy coming through this reading. But let's see. So I would like to set the intention for this reading to be for about the next 30 days to do a complete moon phase. Even though the new moon won't be in Gemini for long, these moon phases tend to start with the new moon. So I would like to try to capture the energy for the next 30 days. So we're starting with the Emperor, the Hermit, Six of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Eight of Cups. Underneath, Eight of Wands, Strength, Knight of Wands, the Moon, Eight of Pentacles, and underneath everything is the Two of Swords. So this Two of Swords underneath is representing your hidden potential. And this is the energy of Libra that we were just talking about, this balance, this adaptability, this versatility. Thinking things through and seeing both sides of the story is what I'm getting from this Two of Swords. But what this is also telling me is because this woman is blindfolded and there's a crescent moon, this is really saying to also use your intuition, to not just use your intellect, but also your intuition, because everything that you need to get something done in this next moon phase is already inside of you. The answer is inside. So that's what I have so far. So we're starting out this energy as the Emperor and the Eight of Wands. And I really like this energy because the Emperor means that you are sitting very strongly in your power. You have discipline, you have organization, you have security. It's, again, this feeling that everything you need is already there. It's inside of you is what I'm getting from this. But the Emperor is also telling me to remind you to really be confident and not to dim yourself down. That if you're hiding away your talents, or if you're worried about starting that new business, or you're concerned about writing that book because of the way people are going to perceive it or conceive it, it doesn't matter. This is saying to really confidently go forward. And the Eight of Wands is also confirming that, because the Eight of Wands tells me that you are in alignment. You already have the answers that you need. They're inside of you. Now they just need to come forward. And it looks like they're coming forward pretty rapidly with this Eight of Wands, that there's something exciting about what you're trying to do, that you're chasing something down, that you know this is the thing that's going to bring you a lot of joy, but there's some part of you that's still kind of hiding it back is what I'm feeling. You're holding back from really bringing your talents or whatever this is for you into the world. So you're really being asked to focus with the Hermit and the Strength card. The Hermit is really asking you to go inward and try to understand why it's so important for you to bring this into the world. because it does feel to me like your vibration is definitely rising, because we have this Eight of Wands here, which tells me that you are in alignment and you're showing up as an emperor. So it's like the cards are telling me you're ready, but it doesn't feel like you feel like you're ready. And that's where the Hermit's going to help. That the Hermit with the lantern of enlightenment is going to show you the next step and then show you the next step. You might be feeling like you're walking through the dark, but this lantern will show you each step as you come to it. And that this is really telling me, especially with the Emperor and the Hermit, that you are the oracle, that you are the one who's going to bring answers to other people. And the Strength card is here just reminding you that the universe is on your side. The universe knows that you are in alignment and really wants you to bring this forward. And I think that you have recently, or are right now, going through a massive transformation. You are changing at a very deep level. There's a lot of healing going on. And I can tell by just these 5 cards that I'm looking at here that you are ready. But now you just have to know that you're ready for whatever this is you want to bring forward, your talents, your healing abilities, whatever you're writing. Make it make sense for you, but there's something you need to bring forward, and you already know what that thing is. So, but it looks like there's a challenge here. There's a person showing up in your challenge position as the Knight of Wands. And so with the Six of Pentacles coming in with this person, it feels like you are almost relying too much on this person who's in your energy, that you're not believing in yourself enough, that you're showing up as an emperor. You have everything you need to get this done, but it feels like you're leaning on someone else. So for example, if you were going to break off a business of your own and leave a current job, you're still leaning very heavily on that boss or that coworker or whoever that is that makes you feel secure, rather than starting off on your own. So make that make sense for your situation, but there is a person that it looks like you're kind of heavily depending on them. But the Emperor doesn't need anyone. The Emperor has everything they need. And so that's where I feel like that's your challenge, is learning how to separate your own long-term position versus your comfort zone of relying on someone else. So I'm hoping that that makes sense, but it does feel like with the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands that you're holding on to someone or maybe a situation. You're leaning too heavily on that and not yourself. So the message that's coming through here is that once you face your fears with the moon, because the moon is all about facing your fears, but it's also about finding your inner balance and understanding that if you resist things over and over and over, the universe is just going to keep having you face those fears. Because what is that saying? It's like what you resist persists, or something like that, where if you don't face your fears, the universe is just going to have you in different situations where you encounter these fears over and over again anyway. But this is showing me that you're in this process of transforming. So it tells me that you are starting to accept that you are the Emperor. That is your current energy. You're starting to accept that. And that's when the transformation really starts to come in. The Four of Wands is here reminding us that you will have something huge to celebrate, some huge milestone coming your way as soon as you face your fears. The moon can also be a card of cloudy judgment or illusions or feeling like something is unbalanced, but certainly things that are distorted. And I think what we're seeing here is that you are a little bit distorted in your thinking, in that you're not really quite grasping the fact that you are an emperor. An emperor does not need to lean on a knight. So that's the illusion. That's the thing you have to cut through. This Four of Wands is also telling me to maybe just get started. So for example, if you're thinking about writing a book, for example, random example, to just get started, write the first page, write the first chapter, write a scene, write anything you want, but get it started. Because I do think that's going to help you to understand your power once you see the power of your written word. Or again, make it make sense for you. It doesn't have to be writing. So, and then finally, I like this potential outcome, because the Eight of Cups means that you're seeking something else. But in order to seek something else, you have to leave something behind. So this is a card of really emotional detachment. So what I like about this is it feels like in this transformation that we see here in these cards, I can see you detaching from whoever or whatever this situation or person is. I can see you detaching it, and then the eight of detaching from it. But then the Eight of Pentacles tells me that you're really starting to do that good work. So this is you writing that book or whatever that is for you, the business that you're starting. But I feel like your potential outcome here looks so good because I get this sense that you're really making a healthy choice in detaching from this, that you're putting more emphasis on yourself, your self-love, your self-care, being happier, not dimming yourself down to please this person, whoever this is for you. And then you're going to turn around, you're headed towards whatever this project is, whatever this thing you're working on, that you're going to see small increases. And that's what we said with the Four of Wands, that you're going to start to see, you're going to have this honest assessment of your work product. If you're creating something, if you're starting a podcast, if you want to be a Reiki healer, make it make sense for you, but you're going to start taking the first steps towards that. And you're going to see this fresh start is exactly what you needed for steady work and steady growth and spiritual growth. So let's get some clarifiers. It's interesting because the only swords that we see in this reading is this Two of Swords. And I was expecting to see more swords because of all this Gemini energy around us. But I also think that the new moon in Gemini supports this reading in the sense that it's a perfect time for you to manifest these brand new creative ideas and having clear thinking. The new moon in Gemini is really going to help with this moon energy showing through here of any kind of illusions or distorted thinking. This new moon in Gemini is going to help really clear that up so that you can move away and start this new project. So, but the Emperor and the Eight of Wands is clarified by the Fool, King of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So this Knight of Wands ties back to this Knight of Wands. This is certainly about overcoming these fears. The Fool is about taking risks and starting something new, which is exactly what this Eight of Pentacles is saying. And the Moon is saying that too. It's taking a risk. You're facing your fears so that whatever you resist will no longer persist, that you'll be able to push through these fears and then really see this open up at the end of this 30-day cycle that we've set for us, for our intentions. The King of Cups is saying that this is something you love very deeply. So if it is that book, if it is a podcast, if it is a business, make it make sense for you. But it's something you love very much and you know it's going to be great. It's like you can feel it. The King of Cups is a very intuitive person. And so I feel like there's just this need to move on from this Knight of Wands, which is what the Eight of Wands is saying, to move on from this. You are in alignment for something else. The Hermit and Strength are clarified by the Moon. So there's the Moon again. The Chariot, that's about moving forward. And the King of Swords. So that's that Gemini energy that I've been looking for. So there's this need here for you to face your fears. This ties back to this. The Chariot and the Four of Wands tie back together in the sense that what we said was just take control of the situation. That's what the Chariot card means. Write that first chapter, make your website, whatever it is, start marketing, make it make sense for you and this new thing you want to start. But this is all saying to use this clear thinking of the Knight of the King of Swords. There's really no better card in the deck than the King of Swords to cut through the illusions of the Moon. The Moon is about illusions and fears and talking yourself out of things. The King of Swords holds this sword of truth that slices right through that energy. And that is exactly this energy of the new moon in Gemini. It's about clear thinking, getting yourself out of these illusions that you can't do it and move it forward with the Chariot. The Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands is clarified by the Knight of Wands again. It's the Prince of Wands in this deck, but it is the same as the Knight of Wands. Then we have the Shadow, which is the Devil in this deck, and the Four of Cups. You have outgrown this. You've outgrown this. We're seeing the Knight of Wands 3 times now. And the devil in the Four of Cups is saying that this is too small for you. You're attached to this. And I was getting that feeling that perhaps there is some kind of an attachment to this person or some idea that you need this when you've outgrown it. The devil here is very clearly saying to release this attachment because there's an opportunity here showing up in the Four of Cups that you're not taking. The universe is handing you something straight through the veil and you're ignoring it. And that thing that you're ignoring is that you can do this. You're the emperor. That's what you're ignoring. The Four of Wands and the Moon are clarified by the Six of Wands. I love it. The High Priestess and the Page of Wands. This is just saying, get started. The Page of Wands is saying, write that first chapter. Open that website, whatever it is that you have been meaning to do, that you know on a deep intuitive level. With the High Priestess, we now have the Hermit and the High Priestess, which is telling me that you know deep down, and maybe not so deep down, that with the Six of Wands, this is going to be highly successful for you. And the Page of Wands is saying, so what if we're inexperienced? So what if we don't know what we're doing? Let's write the first draft. Let's make a mess of the first draft. And then see just how brilliant this is, especially with the new moon in Gemini, these clear, really sharp, smart ideas, problem solving. It's all coming through right now. So capitalize on that and start writing. That's the random example though. Make it make sense for you. Then the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Ace of Cups. Wow. The King of Wands and the Five of Cups. This is very clearly saying to step into that power. The King of Wands is not afraid of anything. The King of Wands is the most confident card in the deck, which I believe is what's going to cause you to emotionally detach from whatever this is that you are attached to. The Ace of Cups is saying the same thing that the King of Cups told me here, that this is something your heart wants more than anything. So go for it. The Five of Cups is here reminding us that you could regret it if you don't take this decision. The Four of Cups is then followed in just chronological order in the tarot, or in numerological order in the tarot. The Five of Cups is the regret that someone experiences after they let an opportunity slip through. So this is just a reminder to you, because you still have a choice. This is your potential outcome because you have your own free will. You get to decide. But the cards are reminding you here that you might regret this. You will regret this if you don't take this opportunity to bank on yourself, to bet on yourself this time. Everything you need is inside of you, and you don't need to be attached to this situation any longer. So, wow. Okay, so that is your new moon in Gemini reading. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.